The second part of our notes video is with compositions, where what we're going to do is replace the variable in one function with the other function. Since this is an introduction to this topic, we're going to keep things fairly simple. Overall, you normally substitute and then do a multitude of things to simplify. In our case, we're going to fall into three steps actually. We're going to replace the variable, like I said, with the other function. Since we're going to do basic ones, your next step will be to distribute. And your third step will be to add like terms together. This may sound a little confusing right now. I'm hoping that as we go through a couple examples, it will become more clear. If we look at the first example, the innermost part of the parentheses is the h of n. That means the h equation is going to replace the n in the g equation. So it's going to go in where the n is at in the g equation. So we start by writing the g equation down, and when we get to the variable, in this case the n, we're going to put parentheses in. Inside the parentheses, we want to put the h equation. In this case, the minus 2n minus 4. So we replaced the n in the g equation with the whole function for h of n. Now, like I said, we're going to do the basic ones, so this isn't going to be too bad, hopefully. We're going to distribute, which should give us minus 4n minus 8 plus 1. At this point, we add the like terms. So we're going to have minus 4n. The minus 8 plus 1 should give us minus 7. And that will be our composition. The second example is written in slightly different terms. This is equivalent to writing f of g of a. I'm guessing the reason for the two types of notation on this are due to when they had to print by using block letters rather than being able to type and print. So in this case, it's the g of a equation that's going to go inside the f equation. So the g of a equation is going to go inside the f of a equation. So we start with the f of a equation. So we start with the 2. When we get to the a, we put the parentheses and the plus 1. Now, the g equation goes inside in place of the a. In this case, the a squared minus 4a. So that's performing the composition, putting it in. Now to clean it up, we're going to distribute. So we'll have 2a squared minus 8a. Got the plus 1 afterwards. In this case, all the terms are different, so there are no like terms. So that one is done. In the next example, once again, they've used the open circle notation. So if we take a second and rewrite it, we see that the g of t is going inside in place of the t in the h equation. So we're going to start with the h equation. We got the 3. When we get to the variable t, we leave the parentheses, put the minus 1. Now we're going to insert the g of t into the parentheses. At this point, we distribute. We start to clean it up. We got the 3t cubed. The plus 6 and the minus 1 should give us a positive 5. And that will be our answer for this one. Last example for this part. Notice they've already put everything in the parentheses. So on the outside we got the f, so we start with the f equation. So we got the 4. In place of the a we do the parentheses. Put the minus 1. The g equation is going inside. Now that we've got everything in place, we distribute. Got the 4a cubed. 4 times the 3a should give us 12a. Minus 1 afterwards. Note there are no like terms. So that would be the answer. Now for the next part, we're going to be evaluating some compositions. In this case, we want to work inside to outside, just like order of operations say. You want to work inside to outside with the parentheses. So if we look at the most inside part, we got the g of 3. So that means we're going to put 3 into the g equation where the x is at. So if we look at the g equation, we got 3. We're going to put 3 in place of the x, minus the 5. 3 times 3 will give us 9, minus 5 will give us 4. So at this point, 4 now replaces the g of 3. So what we want to do is evaluate h of 4. So if we look at the h equation, we want to do h of 4. So we're going to put 4 in for the x. In this case, 4 is getting cubed to start with. And then we're actually going to subtract x, so we're going to subtract the 4. If you don't happen to know 4 cubed, plug it in on your calculator. Hopefully you should get 64. And we're going to subtract the 4. So in the end, we should get 60. Last one, once again, written a little different. This is equivalent to doing f of g of negative 4. So remember, order of operations says we work inside to outside with parentheses, so we're going to do g of negative 4 first. So in the g equation, we start with x plus 4, so in place of the x, we're going to put a negative 4, and then the plus 4. In this case, we're just going to get 0. So the 0 is going to replace the whole g of negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for the f of 0. So we go to the f equation, and we're going to be putting 0 in for the x. F equation is x squared, so we're going to put 0 in and square it, and subtract 1. This works out nice because 0 squared is 0. We're going to subtract 1. So our final answer in this case should be negative 1. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please see your teacher or stop by the math lab.